Apps can do a lot of cool things. You could order dinner, gamble on your favorite team, and track your health. You could even get a mortgage. One click and you can be approved. I'm not sure by who or what country they're in. You deserve more from the mortgage industry. At AnyMac Home Mortgage, we believe in the need for live human interaction during a very complex process. The kind of service and guidance which an app simply can't provide. Our customers are more than credit scores and income documents. They're individuals and families who live in and strengthen our communities. Their story is our story, and that story begins in a home. Chris Sawyer is an expert on providing superior customer service and in meeting the mortgage needs of current and future homebuyers. With over 18 years of experience in the industry, Chris is able to help customers migrate through the home buying and home financing process by using his wealth of knowledge as a well-qualified mortgage professional. And best of all, Chris is located in Cromwell, Connecticut, where he has helped hundreds of clients in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island make their dreams of home ownership a reality. Visit chrissawyer.any-mac.com. Email him at csawyer@any-mac.com or give him a call, 860-878-8730.
Chris Sawyer, NMLS number 39345, corporate NMLS number 338923. AnyMac Home Mortgage is an equal housing lender. American Neighborhood Mortgage Acceptance Company, LLC. DBA AnyMac Home Mortgage. LoFi Direct. Connecticut First Mortgage Correspondent. Licensed lender. Broker number ML 338923. Massachusetts Mortgage Lender and Mortgage Broker License number MC 338923. Rhode Island Licensed Lender. License number 201128110L. Call for additional details.
Jones on first down, wide open, it's Barkley, and Saquon Barkley will take it into the end zone.
Your best ability is his availability. Saquon Barkley, he's great when he's on the field, but the problem is since 2018, he hasn't been healthy for this team.
Look at this, they lob it to him, he taps it in off the glass. How about that?
Porter Moser, I think right now is the best coach of college basketball, hands down.
Fins 2 for 3, he's done his part.
Pitch is drilled to deep right field toward the pole, and it is gone.
They don't mind not being what they were in the 90s as the best organization in baseball, because the Yankees aren't even close to the best organization in baseball.
You're trying to be the Rays, and the Rays do this for a reason. Like, you're the Yankees.
Welcome to Sports Talk with R&J. I'm Steve Risser along here with Justin D'Onofrio. And last night, the Celtics kept their season alive, knocking off the Heat 116 to 99. They could have fallen apart. They could have quit. They could have fallen apart, but they didn't. They were down 9 in the first quarter, 29 to 20. They were down 61 to 52, and I think this is the key part of the game. They were down 61 to 52 in the third quarter, and they went on an 18-0 run, and then they cruised from there. Jason Tatum led them with 33 points. And the big question is now is, can the Celtics do it? We all know one Boston team did it years ago. Can the Celtics do it? Can they be? Is there a chance the Celtics can win 3 straight? And I'm not a Joe Mazzulla fan, and I don't think they're going to win the series, but I do think they're going to win it because I do think they have a. I didn't say they were going. I'm sorry about that. I didn't think they were going. I didn't say they were going to win it. I do think they have a chance to win it because they do have the more talented team. So yes, I do think that I do think the Celtics do have a chance being down 3-1.
I do too. The problem with me in this is one, the coaching you mentioned, that's a big one. The other one is two, the Celtics team just been so inconsistent that I can't trust them to play well for 4 straight games, for 3 more straight games like they did. Again, you go back to the Hawks years, that thing should have been over in 5, and they let Trae Young steal one there in game 5 and had, we just haven't been able to trust the Celtics totally. And I'm still not at the point. And it's this Heat organization too. I just, the Celtics have the more talented team, but I can't bet against that Heat team. Like, I'm not worried about them losing that game 4. I think they're fine with Jimmy Butler. I think there's a chance, but maybe the Celtics can win a game 5 as well, but I still think the Heat win the series.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I still think the Heat win it in 6. I just don't trust Joe Mazzulla. I don't trust Joe Mazzulla at all. You saw the effort they had in game 3, a must-win game. They did not show any effort at all. So yeah, I don't think they win the series, but they do have a top 10 player in Jason Tatum, and he played really, really well last night. And that was key. And that was the biggest reason why the Celtics won that game.
Yeah, absolutely. It was really about time in the series because, again, last night was the first time all series he scored a point in the fourth quarter. Like, that just can't happen if you want to be a superstar, or he's a top 10 player. But again, we talked about last week or 2 weeks ago, to get on that next level, that big game 7 that he had 51 points was awesome, and really needed it. But yeah, last night finally scoring the fourth quarter in that game or in the series was huge. He had a big night. They needed that, because I think Jaylen Brown's been banged up with that kind of wrist and elbow injury because he hasn't played very well at all this series. So yeah, he's had to step up because the role guys either. Grant Williams has played well, but like some of the role guys have not stepped up and played well either around him.
Absolutely. This is going to lead me to my next point is what do the Celtics got to do to win the series? And the biggest thing is Jaylen Brown's got to be better. Jaylen Brown has got to be better for the Celtics to win Game 5. Jaylen Brown has got to be better because he has not scored more than, I know you talked about the injury in Game 1, and that makes perfect. That makes a lot of sense because he hasn't scored more than 20 points in a game since then. So Jaylen Brown has got to score more than 20 points in a game for the Celtics to come back and win this series. That's the first thing that's got to happen. The second thing, you said it, the role players got to be better. The Marcus Smarts, the Al Horfords, the Derek Whites, those guys got to be better. They were good last night, but they got to be better if the Celtics are going to come back and win the series. And those are pretty much the two biggest keys for him. It's pretty much it's Jaylen Brown and it's the role players. Those guys got to be better if the Celtics want any chance of coming back and winning the series.
Yeah, they do need those role guys. And, one of them that I kind of spy was Grant Williams. He's been really good, productive off the bench. Again, wasn't great getting the face there of Jimmy Butler in game number 2, but, he's been really good so far in this series. And he was really their kind of sixth man last year. So he's starting to kind of figure it out. He's been playing well. He's got to continue to knock down shots because when the Celtics are hitting threes, they live and die by the 3-pointers. And when he's on, that gives him a very valuable weapon. So Grant Williams got to continue to play well in this series. I'll keep it short. Tatum, he came alive last night. Finally, he's got to do that again, especially in the fourth quarter. And then my last one's the turnovers. It's going to make or break them. They had 15 turnovers, in the first 3 games of the series. Last night they only had 10. So if they cut down the turnovers, they were much better. I thought, with the ball, they got to continue to do that because with the heat pressure. We've kind of seen at times that he's kind of exposed them and with some of the turnovers, this year and even last year.
Absolutely. So now we'll go to the Heat, and what do the Heat got to do to close the series out in Boston? They won 2 games in Boston last week. What do they got to do to close out the Celtics in Boston? And my thing for the Heat is Bam has got to be better. Bam has got to be better than he was. He's got to be as good as he was in games 1 and 2. The first 2 games in Boston. He was not good last night. That's why that was the reason why the Heat lost that game. So he's got to be better. Another thing is they got to shoot the ball better from 3. 8 for 32 from 3 last night. A big reason why they went on the Celtics went on that 18-0 run. The Heat 8 for 32 from 3-point range. That has got to be better as well. We saw in Game 5 against the Knicks when they struggled to shoot threes, especially in the first half of that game. That came back to bite them and they lost that game. They got to shoot the ball better from 3-point range. And their bench has just got to keep playing the way it has all season, all postseason. How about Caleb Martin this series? He's been outstanding. If he can continue to play that way, there's a very good chance that he could close this thing out in Boston on Thursday night.
Yeah, I like the point with Caleb Martin. You can make the argument that he's been their second best player in the series. He's been
absolutely. Him or Bam, but yeah, absolutely. He had 25 points in Game 2.
Yeah, the role players, they've been really good, and they made a major force. And yeah, Caleb Martin's kind of been the head of that. Robinson last night was 0 for 2, but he's still shooting 43% in the postseason from 3. So, Duncan Robinson, again, he catches fire tomorrow night. That'll be huge for the Heat. So yeah, the role players got to continue to play well. My second one is kind of don't let Tatum and Brown get into their groove. The Celtics going into last night were only shooting like 29% for the series from 3. I think they've done a really good job of their assignment switching off of the pick and rolls. I think they've done a really good job in that area so far in this series. Last night wasn't great, but the Celtics finally knocked down some shots. They kind of got going. That's going to happen because they do have some talent. So, if the Heat kind of continue to switch off the pick and rolls and all that. And then my final one is just keep this, if you're Miami, just keep this game close until the final 5 minutes. Because I don't think the Celtics can win a close game with Joe Mazzulla against Eric Spoelstra.
Absolutely not. You are 100% right about that. That is a great point. If that thing is close, especially in Game 5, any of these games, I feel like, outside of maybe Game 7, if it's Game 7 because the Celtics have all the momentum because they've won 3 straight, yeah, they might win that. But any of these 2 games, Game 6 or game 5 or game 6, if it's close with 5 minutes to go, you got to take the Heat because, yeah, I do not trust Joe Mazzulla one bit against Eric Spoelstra. Not one bit against Spoelstra. Not at all.
No. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It just, the way Mazzulla runs the timeout, again, it was, I don't think some of those stars in the Celtics really respect Mazzulla. What game was he kind of threw the clipboard because they weren't listening to him? I think late in the game, I don't trust. Yeah, I trust the Heat to close out a game close. Yeah, maybe game 7, the Heat get tight and they don't finish. But yeah, game 5, game 6, if the Heat win that, it's the close game late. I see a really hard time for the Heat to lose. They'd have to miss a lot of open shots or just miss a lot of shots in general to lose that game.
And you're talking about the players not trusting Mazzulla. Really, if the Celtics lost, our first topic today, our first topic would be, is Mazzulla going to be back next year? There's still question that Joe Mazzulla will be the coach next year. I know the Celtics locked him up long. They gave him the permanent coach, which was a mistake. That was a mistake, making Mazzulla the permanent head coach. That was a mistake. But yeah, the big question would have been is, if the Celtics would have lost, is Mazzulla back next year? Yeah,
it is. And I wonder, because I haven't seen, I've seen the Celtics throughout the regular season, but not as close as I have been so far in the postseason.
No. Same with
I
me.
know they lost their main assistant, Damian Stoudemire. He took the Georgia Tech job. I don't know if that's had a part of it, just because Mazzulla is so young. And Joe Mazzulla is playing against Jimmy Butler when, because Mazzulla played at West Virginia. Butler was at Marquette. They played against each other at college. Mazzulla is still a young kid.
That's crazy that they played against each other, Mazzulla and Jimmy Butler. Yeah.
Yeah, I think was it 2008? I think Marquette knocked him out in the Big East tournament, knocked West Virginia out. But that's the thing. He's such a young coach, and you could listen to his press conference. He's so into the analytics.
There's no flow of the game for him. He doesn't. It's all analytics for him.
Yeah, and that's a worry for me. But yeah, I think you really got to look at it. I wonder if Brad Stevens would bring on a veteran assistant coach to come on and help them.
They've been talking about that. I think that's probably what's going to happen if they don't win the series. They'll bring in a veteran assistant.
Yeah, and
they'll bring in maybe one of the guys who doesn't get one of these jobs, like a Nick Nurse, a Budenholzer, a Monty Williams. No, they won't bring Doc back, but let it be a Monty, a Budenholzer, a Nick Nurse. If they don't get one of those coaching jobs, they may bring one of those 3 guys in to be be a veteran assistant, to be an assistant for Mazzulla.
Yeah, and I can absolutely see that. Maybe that helps him because I think Brad likes him, and I think he thinks he's got a bright future in coaching. But yeah, right now he's just way over his head. And again, a veteran kind of guy that's been a head coach before could really help him out and ease him in a big kind of series like this. Because he's not been helping himself so far.
No, the coaching mismatch that's a major coaching mismatch, and that's why ultimately I think the Heat win this. I think they win it in 6. I do think the Celtics win on their home floor, even though they've struggled on their home floor all pro season. And I wouldn't be surprised if it ends tomorrow night. But I think they win on their home floor. I think the Heat close them out in 6 on Saturday night.
I'm gonna go with the Heat tomorrow. I think Jimmy Butler, the way he's playing, I don't think he wants to go back and play game 6 in Miami. I think he finishes it tomorrow night. I really do. I'd be really nervous if there's any other organization besides the Heat. I think they get it done tomorrow night. I think they close it out, and I think they get a week off for facing Denver.
Yeah, it'd be big. It'd be big. You want to have some time off before you face a team like the Nuggets. You don't want to be getting into a 6 or 7 game series with the Celtics and then having to play a team like the Nuggets. We saw how dominant the Nuggets were, so it would be for the Heat. It would be best for them to win tomorrow night.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Nuggets want that thing go all the way to Monday night, and they play 6 overtimes. And that they're exhausted going out to Denver. So yeah, Denver wants that thing to go 7, but yeah, Miami. They want to close this thing out as soon as possible and get some time off because, I know they've been good about Hero, and I know Hero stinks offensively, but you'd be nice to get a weapon like that back, for a finals. So yeah, the more time maybe he gets healed up a little bit and yeah, they get a couple of days off.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of the Nuggets, they beat the Lakers on Monday night to advance to the NBA Finals, but we'll get to the Nuggets next week. This week, we'll focus on the team that lost to the Nuggets, and that's the Lakers. And LeBron made some interesting comments after the game saying that he's uncertain about his future. He's not fully committed to coming back next year, which I think he'll be back. I think he'll be back for the Lakers. I think the big question is this it for LeBron? I think absolutely not. He's going to be back. He'll be back playing with the Lakers next year. I will be shocked if LeBron retires.
Yeah, same here. Again, he's not leaving $100 million on the table. He's just not. And I think it was a heat of a moment thing. And I think, I think he understands that, or I think he wants the Lakers to make some changes. And I think we've, obviously in that series kind of, I think Kyrie was at the game. So that probably pretty linked to going out there, which that'll be fun to how that turns out yet again. But yeah, I don't think he's retiring. Again, he's still one of the top 5, top 10 players in the sport. He's not walking away now. I don't see it, maybe in 2 years, but not yet. Again, I didn't believe him when he was kind of contemplating that. I think it was heat of the moment, or he's just kind of telling the Lakers, we need some changes.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's very, very heat of the moment. I think it's very, very, I think it was a heat of the moment thing. They need changes. And let's be honest, AD's got to step up. AD's got to step up for him, because all the postseason, you look at the series with AD, the Memphis series, he was inconsistent. LeBron bailed him out in game in game 4 of that series, or they might have not even won that series. LeBron bailed him out in that game. He was really good in the Warrior series, but he was inconsistent in this series. If he played better in games 2 and 4, they probably win games 2 and 4. So AD was very, very inconsistent. So really the supporting cast for LeBron, as much as it helped them in the first 2, as much as it helped them in the second round against the Warriors, it did not help him in this round. D'Angelo Russell wasn't good, and AD was inconsistent.
Yeah, that's the problem with AD. I'm like, and when they got Jokic the 4th foul, why didn't AD demand the ball and go get Jokic's 5th foul there in the 3rd quarter? Like a star's going to go demand the basketball.
Not an alpha. That's the problem. It was a problem in New Orleans. He wanted out of New Orleans. He joined LeBron, got his ring, joining LeBron James, got his ring in the bubble, but not an alpha. Just not very talented. One of those talented players we've seen. Not an alpha.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's been the problem. Again, the injuries have been unfortunate with him, but yeah, he's just not. And he's got it, especially now. LeBron's still one of the best players out there, but at his age, he can't do it all by himself.
Yeah, he's
anymore.
not the player he was in 2020 when they won a championship. He's not that player anymore. So AD has got to be better. He's got to step up. And he did against the Warriors. I'll give him credit for that. He did not against the Nuggets. That's why they got swept.
No, he had the 40-point game in game 1, but that was, I know his stats still look, again, he had like 21 and 12. Like the numbers look good, but yeah, like he just wasn't, they needed more out of him. They needed like 25, 26 out of him consistently. And that's kind of been the problem with AD. You just don't know what Anthony Davis is going to show up. And, that was kind of the difference. And yeah, he's such a talented player. He's 30 years old. He's such a talented player. But yeah, he just hasn't shown the consistency at times. And that's been the big problem because, yeah, LeBron needs another kind of superstar with him. And Anthony Davis, it's just, unfortunately, he just hasn't shown the consistency. He has not shown the consistency that he's not that guy.
Yeah, and the big question is he a top 10 player in the NBA? Is Anthony Davis a top 10 player in the NBA? And I'm going to say no. Obviously, I'm definitely taking the top guys, Jokic, Giannis, and Curry. That's no question. You take those guys over him. KD, Tatum, LeBron. You're definitely taking. It's still LeBron's team. He has not taken the torch from LeBron. With LeBron being 38 and arguably slipping out of the top 5, he still hasn't taken the torch from LeBron James. So KD, Tatum, and LeBron, you're definitely taking those guys over AD. Embiid, even though he had a terrible Game 7 performance, you still take him over Anthony Davis because he did win. Let's not forget, Joel Embiid did win an MVP. So you're still taking him over AD. And there's other guys. Lillard, look at Damian Lillard, Jimmy Butler. Right now, I'm probably take Jimmy Butler over him, and I'll probably take Kawhi Leonard. Even though he has trouble staying healthy, that's debatable. Luka Doncic, you're taking him over Anthony Davis. Then you can argue other guys, Devin Booker, John Morant, even though Morant's off the – that's another story. He's off the court stuff. But I named 12 guys right there that you would take over Anthony Davis.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. He's not a top 10 player. Again, he's maybe top 15, top 20. He's in that range maybe, right around there. So, look, yeah, again, such a talented player. Hasn't been a great shooter, but yeah, he's just, again, a Jimmy Butler in a postseason, that's going to win at will. I haven't seen that from
Where's
him.
that from AD? Where is that from AD? You got the talent to be that guy. You're not that guy. Another issue with 82 is he's not a good 3-point shooter, and he doesn't make players around him better. That was a problem in New Orleans, and that's a problem now, and that's why he has not taken that torch from LeBron. And if he's the number one player on your team, you're not going to be a great team.
No. Yeah, like what? With him and Cousins in New Orleans, they were what, a 8 seed? Were 8 or 7 seed was the best they got? Like, yeah, they could, they weren't great. So yeah, he just hasn't been. Yeah, he doesn't make guys around him better. He's not a great shooter. He just doesn't. I know everybody wants to go out there and win, but it doesn't seem like he takes it to the next level that you need a top. To be a top 10 player that you need. He hasn't shown it, and yeah, that's been the big problem. And I think it would be smart for the Lakers to trade him.
We'll see. That's an interesting point right there. But here's the thing, and people say like, he thought his game to make guys better around, not his job to make guys better around him. He's not his job to shoot threes. Look at Jokic. He's a big man. He can handle the ball. He makes his teammates better around him, and he hits threes. So there's no excuse for Anthony Davis to not be able to be a guy who can't make guys better around him, or a guy who can't shoot 3-point shots. When you got a guy that beat his team in Nikola Jokic who does exactly that.
Yeah, no, there's no excuse. Yeah, there's no excuse. He's got to, especially to be on that talent level. Again, like if he was a guy like a Kevin Looney that would just grab 25 rebounds a game, I'd not be like, I'd be fine with that as my center. But yeah, like he's a guy that is supposed to be one of the best players in the sport. Yeah, he's got to be able to make guys better around him. LeBron's still being able to do that. Yeah, we've seen it with Jokic and just the incredible series that he's had, or even postseason that he's been having. Anthony Davis just isn't that guy, and that's kind of a big problem. He's just it's another kind of part of the game that he's been missing so far in his NBA career. And yeah, it's to be a superstar nowadays, it feels like you got to make your guy, to be a superstar, you got to make your player, you got to make your teammates better. And yeah, he doesn't have that trait right now.
Yeah, all the guys I have listed in front of him. Jokic does a great job of that. Giannis does a really good job of that. Curry does an outstanding job of that. Luka does a great job of it. KD does a pretty good job of it. Tatum does a pretty good job of it. LeBron, he's better at doing that than anybody that's ever played the game. Lillard does a really good job of it. Kawhi even does a pretty good job of it. So, and even Embiid does a better job of it than him. So yeah, it's just I'm not arguing his talent. His talent is great, but to me, he's not top 10. And also, it's the injuries. He can't stay healthy. There's a reason the Lakers did not get out of the first round in 2021 because he got hurt. And there was a reason the team missed the play-in tournament in 2022 because he couldn't stay healthy. Him not being able to stay healthy is definitely a factor as well.
Yeah, absolutely. He really has not been able to, and yeah, it's been a big issue. He's missed a lot of time, and it hurt the team. Yeah, like last year it really hurt because him and LeBron both missed a ton. He only played 40 games last year. Him and LeBron missed a ton of time, and that really hurt. The chemistry in that team. And it's, they for a guy you're paying a lot of money to, you like to be on the floor. I know nowadays with load management, but you like to have him out there, I think, 60, 70 times a year, when he's healthy, type of stuff. And yeah, he just really hasn't been able to do that. I don't think he's played a full, I think the most he's played, I'm going through right now, 75 in 2017, the most I've seen. That's pretty good. But other than that, it's been mostly in the 50s or kind of below that. So yeah, it's been a big problem for him. And, as he gets older, it's going to probably get worse and worse.
Absolutely. Now that we established that AD's not top 10 and LeBron should be back next year, the big question is this year the last time that we'll see LeBron in a conference final? And I hate to say this for LeBron. I think this is it. This is it for him. I think it'll be the last time we'll see him in a conference final because I'm looking at a team like Denver. That team is going nowhere, and they just swept the Lakers. That team is outstanding, and they just swept the Lakers, and they got the best player in basketball, Nikola Jokic. And then you look at the Suns, and yes, everybody's going to say, the Suns weren't that good in the playoffs. KD didn't have I get it. There's a lot of pressure on KD next year to make a deep run in the playoffs. But I think they're a better team than the Lakers. I think they are with Booker and KD. Who knows what happens with DeAndre Ayton? and CP3, but I think they're a better team than the Lakers, and I think they're the second best team in the Western Conference going into next year. So I think this is it. Now, luckily for them, Golden State's getting older. Memphis is a mess. Your Kings are good, but they got to prove they can win some playoff series. They got to prove they can win some playoff series. So luckily for them, you could argue they might still be the top 3 team in the West going into the season, but I still don't think they're as good as the Nuggets or the Suns going into next year. And LeBron and AD just keep getting older. So I think this is the last time you'll see LeBron in the conference final.
Yeah. If this team comes back currently structured the way it is, then I don't see it. But if they go out there and make some changes, then I could absolutely see LeBron getting back there. I think it just depends on what the Lakers do this offseason. Yeah, I think it's going to be tough to get there. Back there with, as you mentioned, the Suns, because the Suns took the Nuggets 6 games. The Nuggets aren't going anywhere. Yeah, we'll see what the off season brings for Sacramento. Yeah, the Warriors, I think that their window is starting to close very quickly, as we've seen. So yeah, I think there's a likely chance that we won't. But if the Lakers really reamp this roster and help out LeBron this offseason, I could see the LA getting back there next season. It just all depends on what LA does this offseason. With the team that they have right now, I don't see it happen. I don't see them getting back to final or West Conference Finals with team as is right now.
No, I don't either. I don't either. I mean, just LeBron's getting older. AD's continues to fail to step up in the postseason. He just was way too inconsistent in this postseason. So yeah, I just don't see it happening for LeBron James and the Lakers. But we got to talk about a guy who retired this week and was drafted in LeBron's draft class, and that's Carmelo Anthony. And he had a really good career. He had a really, really good career mainly with the Knicks and with the Nuggets and with the Knicks. He had a really, really good career. I'd say his best 2 seasons were 2009 and 2013. He was the top scorer in the NBA in 2013. I mean, this guy was a scorer. This guy could score the minute he walked in the league. His first 14 years in the NBA, he scored over 20 points a game. That's why he's clearly a Hall of Famer. But the biggest issue with Melo and why he's not on that LeBron or Steph or even KD, he's not on that level, he's not on that top level of guys in our era, is he didn't make teammates better around him. He averaged under 3 assists a game. It's hard to win a championship with you, and your best player averages 3 assists a game. Now, individually, he was a phenomenal scorer, but there was issues with him defensively, and he did not make guys around him better the way that Steph Curry and LeBron did. So I think he did have a great career, and he should be a Hall of Famer, but he's not a top 50 player to ever play the game. Maybe top 75, but definitely not a top 50 player to play the game.
Yeah, I go in that top 75, top 100 range for him. Yeah, he was one of the best scorers. He's 9th all-time in the all-time scoring list. But yeah, as you mentioned, he never really made teammates around him better. Wasn't it? It was Chandler, right, in 2013 kind of called him out in the playoffs because he wasn't making, because guys were open and he wasn't happy that.
And as we talk about the Celtics coming back from 3-0, the Celtics were actually close to come back from 3-0. Remember that series? Series against the Knicks? They were close to coming back from 3-0. That was the end of the big three with because Ray Allen was gone, but that was the end of the era with Rondo and Pierce and Garnett. That was Doc's last year. They almost came back from 3-0 down.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, they got it close, and Carmelo, that was. Look, he did a great job. Like, he really kind of stabilized the Knicks there for a couple of years, getting you guys to the playoffs for a couple of years. But
he got us to the playoffs. We just couldn't get over the hump. No. We could not get over the hump, and we knew with Carmelo it was going to be hard to get over the hump. But yeah, we were a disaster. We hadn't had a winning season in a decade, and then Carmelo gets traded in 2011. They have a winning season. They get to the playoffs. 2012 they get to the playoffs. In 2013 they had a really good year. They were the number 2 seed and lost to the Pacers in the conference semis. But I mean, he was a really, really good. Yeah, he definitely did stabilize things for the Knicks for a couple of years there.
Yeah, he did. And he definitely did, and really gave the Knicks kind of a couple of years of bright spots. But yeah, like again, he just didn't make his teammates around him better, and he never got to a finals. He got to 2 conference finals with Denver, or 1?
He got to 1 in 2009. He was close.
Yeah, the Lakers.
He lost in 6. That was his best season. Was 2009, in my opinion. He was close, but he never got to. He never did. Yeah, he never got to an NBA final.
Yeah, and I think, and again, I'm not trying to totally hold that all against him. Again, I know, he was at the Knicks and Nuggets, and I know Nuggets obviously have been better, but I know the Knicks as a franchise have not been great lately. Like, tell how it is. But look, he's a great player. He's a great scorer. He's one of the best out there. But yeah, I don't see him as a top 50 player. Yeah, he didn't make his teammates around him better. I just would have been nice to see him get to a finals 2 or even win one to maybe kind of put him up a little bit higher. But yeah, he just didn't have that, No, he won at Syracuse, and he's accountable for Bam's only win. But
He's a god there. He's a god there.
Oh, yeah.
What would Boeheim be without Carmelo Anthony?
What
would Boeheim be? A coach that coached for almost 50 years and never won a national title.
Yeah, that fight. Yeah, he may have got a longer leash because of winning that one title.
Absolutely, yeah.
So yeah, he was a big part of that. Probably why Boeheim, got an extra 5 years there. But look, tremendous talent. Yeah, I don't think I'd go top 75, top 100 range. And it's crazy. His kid's already a junior, and he's a top 100 recruit. So there could be another Melo coming very soon.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, really good career for Carmelo Anthony. I mean, I enjoy. Listen, I didn't love him as a Knick because the end was tough. I was getting tired of the ISO ball with him. But as a Knicks fan, he gave me some hope for a couple of years. So. You never will be like Patrick Ewing or Allen Houston or Larry Johnson to me, or even Jalen Brunson. But still, he did a really good job at the Knicks. I'll give him that.
Yeah, he gave it some excitement to that franchise that you haven't seen really since the 90s. Before that. So it was like 7 straight years without going to the playoffs, something like that. So yeah, he gave some stabilization there at the franchise for a couple of years, him and Billups coming over. But yeah, I don't think he gets his banner. I don't think, right. I assume you're on the side of don't retires banner at the Garden, or
I think you do. I think you retire it. I think you retire at number 7. I think you do. He was obviously he's not a Ewing. He's not a Charles Oakley. He's not a Larry Johnson, even Larry Johnson or Allen Houston. He's not one of those guys as a Knick or even a John Starks. But, or if you go back to the 70s, Walcott, Frazier, and or Willis Reed, he's not one of those guys. But I still think you retire it because he gave the Knicks some really good years.
He did. I could see both sides. I don't know. Part of me is like, you just start hanging a banner for, but
this organization doesn't have a lot of winning. They don't have a lot of banners to hang over the last 20 years. They got to celebrate something.
Yeah, you're right. Is Brunson going to get one if he has a couple more years, just like Carmelo?
That's the thing. I know.
That's the only thing. But yeah, again, I see both sides of why, you would want to retire Carmelo Anthony's number in the Garden.
Yeah. We'll see. But Aaron Judge continues to stay red hot. But before we talk about that, we're going to hear from our friends at JPEG Financial and Shamrock Home Inspections.
Do you have a 401k and some savings for future retirement, but don't even know if it's enough to live off of? How much is enough? How often are you thinking about it? The team at JPEX Financial Group can help set your mind at ease. We specialize in creating strategies in the planning and managing of your financial, educational, and investment needs. We help clients pursue their investment goals with sound financial strategies. You deserve a personal, tailored plan. Lasting, meaningful, and open relationships are the foundation of our practice. You've worked hard for your money and should feel confident in your investment choices as you make decisions for your financial future. Your goals are our goals. We are dedicated to your needs and hopes for your future. Visit our website and give us a call at 860-430-5397. Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Raymond James Financial Services Advisors, Inc. JPEX Financial Group, LLC is not a registered broker-dealer and is independent of Raymond James Financial Services. JPEX Financial Group is located at 78 Eastern Boulevard, Glastonbury, Connecticut. There's no bigger investment than home ownership. And to make sure the house is up to your standards, you need a professional to look it over. Brian Flanagan from Shamrock Home Inspections is a licensed home inspector and a member of the Connecticut Association of Home Inspectors. Brian was a contractor for over 15 years, so he knows how homes should be constructed and how mechanicals should work.
What makes me a good home inspector was the 20 years that I was a home improvement person, doing all the different repairs that I have done and what other people have done wrong that I had to go out and fix. So I have a pretty quick eye on seeing what's right and what's wrong. Before you move, call Shamrock Home Inspections.
Before you make the biggest investment of your life, call Brian Flanagan from Shamrock Home Inspections at 860-268-2566 or visit shamrockhomeinspectionct.com.
All righty, and how about those Yankees? They've won 15 of their last 20, and Aaron Judge has just been amazing. Last night, down 5-4 against Felix Bautista and hitting that home run, humongous home run last night. They end up winning the game 6-5. And I'm telling you, Aaron Judge, he's back. I feel like he's back to close to what he was last year.
Yeah, I'm with you. He's so locked in right now. The week that he had, I think he had 5 home runs last week. He was 11 for 22. And then the only guy that tried to cool him down was Aaron Boone on Sunday, giving him the day off. But that didn't really. The 2 days off didn't seem like it affected him very much because he came up last night, big home run. Yeah, he's been so locked in since coming back, and the average is close now to 300, and he's been awesome. He's been locked in as he was last year.
Oh, yeah. And you look at the team has just played so much better since he's came back. The lineup is better. You got Rizzo, Bader, all these guys in the lineup, even Glaber. The guys are starting to hit more now. So it's just the way he's changed this lineup. This lineup has, they really haven't, they've been able to score. They've been able to score a lot more than they were they were able to score a lot more than they were when he was out.
Yeah, they have. And, I think, put him in that middle of the lineup, and then with the Rizzo's up to 310. LeMahieu's been better too, like when Judge gets on, Rizzo and LeMahieu are really good, moving him over, and then Bader's been on fire too. Again, he's been great since coming back. He's been back for about a month now, or for a couple of weeks now, and he's been playing well. And then like Volpe's starting to get some, Volpe had the winning the sack fly that won the game last night. So yeah, I just think that with Judge, it just, you bring such a big at bat in the middle of the lineup and the guy that can get on, and you got some guys down there, at 3rd and 4 who can knock him in, and they've been doing that.
Absolutely. So yeah, this lineup is definitely improved, and the pitching staff is nice to see Severino back on Sunday. It was nice to see that. We know Cole, he didn't have a great outing last night, but we know he's been pitching well all year. Cortez has got to be more inconsistent. I don't know why Clark Schmidt is still in the rotation. I do not get that at all. Honestly, I want him out of the rotation. I'm telling you, I'd rather want Brito. I'll take Brito over Clark Schmidt any day of the week. I do not want Clark Schmidt in this rotation. I can't stand him in the rotation. But I think getting Severino back, and hopefully some point they get Rondon back, this rotation can really it definitely has room for improvement.
It does. Schmidt had a good outing at the Reds. Maybe turned the corner a bit. I don't, maybe, but yeah, it's nice to have Severino back. The velocity was good. Unfortunately, didn't get the win because he went 4 2/3. But look, I thought he still pitched well. It was nice to have him back. Unfortunately, I think we'll get Herman back soon too. But it sounds like Rodon's, feeling better, and it sounds like he's got no pain in the back.
And let's be honest, I want to get Rodon back. No, I want to get Herman back. He actually been pitching well before he got suspended.
Yeah, I'm kind of done with all the
all the nonsense,
sticky stuff, and then the 80 game suspension for kind of with his girlfriend at the time. I think I forgot what he did, but like I'm just kind of tired of the nonsense with him, and I would like to move on from him. But yeah, we don't have the option to move on from him right now with guys we got. So hopefully Rondon sounds like he's doing better. Maybe he come back sooner rather than later, but yeah, it'd be nice because, it'd be nice to kind of get some depth here, with some of these guys. Yeah, I know Cole wasn't great last night, but yeah, he's been good most of the season. And, and that O's lineup is really good. You got some talent. They got some young talent.
Oh yeah, with Adley Rutschman, Cedric Mullins. I know Gunnar Henderson hasn't hit, but he's got upside. You got Ryan Mountcastle, Anthony Santander. So yeah, they do have a lot of talent. They definitely do. The O's team definitely does have a lot of talent. And then now we'll discuss the O series a little bit right now. And tonight you got Tommy Wells against Nestor Cortez. You got Tyler Wells against Nestor Cortez. Nestor has got to be more consistent for them. This is a big start for Nestor against the Orioles. And I do think he wins. I do think they win tonight's game, but they're losing on Thursday because who's pitching Thursday.
Clark Schmidt.
Clark Schmidt, who was absolutely terrible.
Kyle Gibson has not been much better. I know he's 5-3 with a 4, but he's not been great either.
Oh, he's been better. He's been better than Clark Schmidt. That's one thing I know for sure. He's been better than Clark Schmidt.
He has. He definitely has, but I'm not a big Kyle Gibson fan, so maybe we could win a shootout on Thursday night. But hopefully tonight. Wells has been good this year. Last year I think he had like a 5 or 6 ERA. He's not a big strikeout guy, but the Yankees, they can make any guy look like a strikeout king. So we'll need to get one of the next two, and because again, Baltimore's got the second best record I think in all baseball.
Wow, behind Tampa.
Yeah, they get the second best record, which is insane. But so I'll take 2 out of 3 against these O's, and they've been fun to watch. And I hope the O's go out and go get an actual start at the trade deadline because they have a ton of good prospects at the minor league level. Because I hope they stay competitive.
Oh, absolutely. I think they're here to stay. I think they're going to be in the race for a while because of their offense. Their bullpen's outstanding. Last night, Batista doesn't blow a lot of saves, and he blew a save last night. Their bullpen is outstanding, and their rotation's decent. It needs some more depth, but yeah, the Orioles are a good team. I think they're going to be here to stay. They're going to be in the race all year long. But I think the way the Yankees are playing, they're going to be in the race all year long. The way their offense is playing, the way their starting pitching's been better, the way their bullpen has been. But there is that one concern about the bullpen. Can we just get a ninth inning guy? I'm tired of this closer by committee. This closer by committee is not going to work all season long. Can we stop with that? Boone needs to establish a ninth inning guy.
Yeah, we do. Chapman's been good. Kansas City want to try that experiment
again.
I
know. Imagine that. Imagine if he gets traded back here again. After when we traded him in 16, he came back in 17.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I wonder, if this is the time. I'm trying to actually go through to see if there's a non-contender that would be giving up a closer anytime soon. Actually, Diaz's brother with Cincinnati has been pretty. Alexis Diaz, but he's got I think he's got 5 years of control left though. So I don't know if Cincinnati would be ready to get rid of him now. But yeah, it'd be nice to get another kind of closer in there. Yeah, the ninth inning guy because they do need somebody. It just. Closer by committee doesn't totally work, but yeah, the rest of the bullpen was good, and I'll give Boone credit. He used all of his big horses last night, kind of thinking that this team was going to come back and win that game, and so I'll give Boone credit the way he used that bullpen last night. Yeah, the bullpen has been great. They one of the best in the in the sport. And then Ian Hamilton's been, unfortunately he's on the IL now, but he's been awesome, since coming up. And then again, somebody like Ryan Weber too's given up some really solid innings. So yeah, a bunch of guys have really stepped up out of the bullpen and have pitched well so far. It's been awesome to see.
Yeah, outside of the ninth inning, the bullpen's been great. Outside of that ninth inning, the bullpen's been great.
Yeah, it has. And yeah, they can get that ninth inning guy, be even better. But look, Wandy's done the job. I like Michael King, but Wandy seems like he can do it too. But yeah, we'll see if they find somebody, maybe late in July. They find a close that they like that they could trade for. But yeah, the bullpen's been awesome. And, again, with the way the lineup's been hitting the baseball, and again, it seems like a lot of guys got a lot of confidence. It doesn't seem like they're out of too many games right now.
No. And obviously the balanced schedule is going to help too this year. That's why I think this team can get now to, 95 wins because of that balanced schedule. Even though they might finish in third, I think they can get to 95 wins because of the way the schedule is this year.
Yeah, it really helps the American League East. I think it was Monday I saw this. So again, obviously things have changed, but the American League East is up 25 games from the second best division.
That's crazy.
For win-loss total. So it's insane. And yeah, this division is so good. It's such a beast. And the balanced schedule definitely helps out the Yankees. And look, they're right there with the Rays, with how many guys they got banged up in the bullpen. And I think the Yankees or the O's are going to catch Baltimore and win the division. I don't think Tampa Bay is going to win this division. I really don't.
Wow.
So.
Wow.
No, I respect Cash and what they've done. You look at the bullpen. There's so many guys that are hurt, and they just overuse them. That I don't know if they could find as many guys. It'll be interesting to see what they do, but I think they'll run out of gas, and that lineup, I don't know if they'll be able to keep it up all year. So yeah, we'll see. I think Baltimore and the Yankees catch them.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But moving on to another team in the AL East, and that is the Red Sox. And they were playing pretty well. They played the Mariners. They played the Mariners tough. They won 2 out of 3 of the Mariners. They went down. They went to San Diego. They won 2 out of 3. But they've lost their last 3 games. And the thing that's really concerning about this team is in their last 3 games, they've scored 1 run. 1 run. Yes, the positives have been Paxton pitched well on Friday. Sale pitched well again on Saturday. But the issue is that we know this rotation is not consistent, and when this team doesn't score, it's gonna be very, very hard for this team to win. And they've scored 1 run in their last 3 games. Now I think they're still a really good offensive team. I like Yoshida, I like Devers a lot, but I think that if they don't score, they're going to be in big trouble.
Yeah, that's the problem. Sale's been awesome. He'll be. I think or they got Paxton tonight, but yeah, Sale's been awesome. They just Core announced a little bit ago that they're moving Kluber to the bullpen. And how can it take his spot?
They should. He's been terrible.
Bad. Yeah, he's been bad. And I wonder if they get close to DFAing him because if he can't come out of the bullpen and it pitch well. I wonder. Yeah, But yeah, like Sale a couple weeks ago before that Baltimore or after that Baltimore start when he got rocked, because it was right around the same time Bumgarner got DFA'd. The rumors were with the Red Sox cut him loose and again. Credit to them, they haven't. Chris Sale's figured something out because it's been huge. And the last couple of nights, the pitching's kind of kept them in it, and they're gonna need that because the lineup is so good. But like you're gonna have off nights. You're gonna have some a couple of tough nights, and that's kind of been happening. Their pitching's kind of kept them in it, but they the thing is can it happen all year round? And who knows? Brian Balow's been good too. He's been better. He pitched well last night, so. Yeah, we'll see. The Red Sox right now, had a nice start to the road trip win, first 2 in San Diego, but it's been a tough last 3 nights here.
Absolutely. And the big question with the Red Sox, I've been saying it for the last couple of weeks, can they stay afloat until the trade deadline? That's going to be the biggest thing. They need to stay in this until the trade deadline so they can improve this team because they definitely, outside of all the teams in the AL East, they definitely are the least talented team. But can they stay afloat in the AL East, so in the playoff race, so they can go out the trade deadline and add a starting pitcher, maybe add another arm to the bullpen, add a bat. They could add to this team because they're definitely going to need to add to this team. The way this team is constructed out, there's no way they're going to win a World Series. But if they could stay in it, until late July, that's be the biggest key for them. Staying in it until late July, so they could add to this team because that was the problem last year. Last year they started to fall out of it and they started to make trades. Because you saw they got rid of Christian Vasquez last year. So staying in it late in the year, staying in it into July is going to be the big key to this team. And I think they have a chance too because of the balanced schedule. If there wasn't a balanced schedule, there's no way this team would stay in it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm with you because they were so bad. I'm like, they won 2 games last year in Toronto. They think they won 4 or 5 against Tampa Bay. Like, they were not good last year into the division. The balanced schedule definitely helps out. The Red Sox too. It helps out the whole American League East. But for the Red Sox, it's staying afloat. They do have some talent, yes, but is it enough? And because Devers been good, but he last couple nights he's been cooled off. There's Pablo Reyes has been a nice pickup for him, but it just I don't know when Duvall's coming back because he got off to such a hot start. Yeah, they're gonna need some guys. That they're gonna need like another starter or two at the trade deadline. They're probably gonna need another arm in that bullpen to kind of help out as well. It's just not Schreiber's been good, but he's been hurt. Winkowski's been pitching pretty well this year. They got Cutter Crawford's been okay. He lost the game Monday night, gave up a home run. But this Red Sox team could stay afloat. They got a chance because again with the rest of the because only one team coming out of the Central. Texas has been really good. Houston's been good.
I think Houston and Texas are coming out of the West. I think Houston and Texas are coming out of the West. So that's 2 teams right there. You got only one team out of the Central, so that's 3. The Red Sox are going to have to find some way to finish in third. They're going to have to find some way to finish in third place. If they don't finish in third, or any of these teams, the Yankees, the Blue Jays, the Red Sox, if one of those 3 teams doesn't finish in third in the AL East, they're not going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for that to happen. And again, them in Toronto now are 3.5 back of the Yankees, and there's a ton of time left. But it'll be tough. Again, you're going to have to win. you have to imagine the American League East third place team's probably going to win right around 90 games.
Oh, definitely 90. I think the winner of the AL East wins at least 90.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think Toronto could get there. I don't know if Boston, the way it's structured, can get there. But yeah, we'll see what they can do at the trade deadline. Again, last year, Bloom waited way too long to address the team too. Is that, he made a mistake last year in that. And it sounded like some of those guys kind of thought that they could kind of fight and maybe have a chance.
Yeah, he gave up last year. And then 2 years, but the surprise was 2 years ago, he never improved that team. The only thing he did was get Kyle Schwarber. He didn't really improve that team at all. And now Schwarber's in Philadelphia. He never improved the team at all, especially in the bullpen or in the rotation at the trade deadline. And that cost him that series against the Astros.
Yeah, it absolutely did. The Astros batted him around a lot. And so, you wonder what the dynamic is in that locker room with Bloom and some of those players. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see because he hasn't managed it well, and sometimes that kind of affects players, and we'll kind of see down the stretch what happens there, when we get closer to trade line and what they do. But yeah, I think they're definitely, I don't know for certain if they don't make the playoffs and Hines' job's on the line.
I think it has to be. I think his job has to be on the line. I mean, he pretty much, he didn't want to pay Mookie Betts. He didn't want to pay Xander Bogaerts, and really, he has not improved that rotation at all. I think his job has to be on the line. I think it's got to be. Yeah, he had that year where they got to the ALCS, but he's also had 2 years where the team is finished in last place. And in 2020, I know it was a 60-game season, but that team is going to be terrible. Regardless, if that goes 162-game season, that team is going to be terrible. They got to the ALCS. They got to the ALCS in 2021. Then last year, they finished in last. If they don't make the playoffs, they got to get rid of Chaim Bloom because you look at the previous years before him. Yeah, they missed the playoffs in 2019, but 2018 they won the World Series, and then 2016 and 2017 they won the division. So if they don't make the playoffs, they definitely got to fire. I think they definitely got to fire Chaim Bloom. They definitely got to move on from him.
I agree with you. I think they should. He's not a fan favorite up there in Boston.
Oh, he should not be at all. No.
He hasn't. It just, again, it's Tampa North up there. That's kind of what they've called things with him.
And that's the problem. That's the problem. He's running this team like it's the Tampa Bay Rays, and you can't do that when you're in a big market. He really has not signed a big-time starter since he's been the general manager.
No, and you look at Evaldi and even Martin Perez, what they've done in Texas. Like, those are two guys you could have re-signed, he could have kept, but yeah, he didn't want to. And yeah, the only thing is, the last couple of years since they wanted to hire him, they wanted to hire Bloom Henry because they didn't like the way Dombrowski was getting over the tax threshold. That's the only thing that
the team was winning with Dombrowski. The team won a World Series with Dombrowski. They won 2-3 division titles with Dombrowski. I think it made no sense to fire Dombrowski and hire this guy.
Yeah, and the way they did it too was the best. The Patriots doing the doing the trophy celebration that night, the opening night in Foxborough, they did it.
Oh man,
that's how they did.
So it was an under the radar move. No one talked about it.
Yep. And it was on Sunday Night Baseball. They fired him during the middle of the game, and it was like the ESPN cameras flashed over. They're like, Chaim's always in the box, and he wasn't there.
You mean Dombrowski?
Yeah, Dombrowski. Yes, my bad. But and he wasn't sitting in his box, and they were like, what's going on here? So that's how it got leaked. That's how we got kind of figured out. So yeah, they did it really under the radar. They might do it again, but yeah, that's the only thing is,
Yeah, my point is, if you're gonna fire Dombrowski after doing what he did, why don't you need to? I think you need to get rid of Bloom after missing the playoffs 3 out of 4 years.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you. I completely agree that. Again, and I think it really depends too on the fan base this summer. Like, if they do kind of fall out of this thing, what attendance is like in July and August, I think is going to kind of mean something too. Because I want to say the year they fired Dombrowski too, kind of August, September, people stop kind of showing up too. So again, if they're not making money, people aren't showing up to that ballpark, then I think the ownership's going to be forced to make a move. But people keep showing up. AB Henry kind of keeps them around, hoping that something sticks. Or I don't know if it's true or not that they're actually going to go after Ohtani. I don't know. I don't think they're going to be in that market, but I've seen something that it's possible. But I don't think from sounds of things, I don't think he wants to come to the East Coast. So
yeah, let me tell you something. If Chaim Bloom's the GM, there is no way Ohtani's a Red Sox. Not a chance. Ohtani's a Red Sox.
Yeah, and that'd be our worst nightmare as Yankee fans to see him come out to Boston and have to play him 12 times a year. So, yeah, I don't think he would. He's friends with Yoshida. That's what they kind of keep going to, is maybe part of it. Yoshida was to bring Ohtani. I don't know if you want to go that far, but yeah, we'll see. I don't think they'll get Ohtani either, but I hope not, but yeah, we'll see. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see if his job's on the line. I kind of agree. If they kind of fall out of things and people stop showing up, I think you got to fire him and move on and kind of try something else. They tried the Tampa North. That's what they wanted to kind of try to bring him in to do, but just doesn't always work. You can't find 15 diamonds in the rough. It just doesn't work.
Exactly. So we'll talk about the Red Sox series this weekend in Arizona. Friday it's Chris Sale pitching for the Red Sox. I think they win that one. Saturday you got Kelly for the Diamondbacks against Whitlock. I think they lose that one. And then you got Henry for the Diamondbacks against Howe for the Diamondbacks. I think they lose 2 out of 3. I don't think they win the series this weekend. And I do think they salvaged the last game against the Angels, but I do think they lose 2 out of 3 this week in Arizona because the Diamondbacks are playing well. Yeah,
Diamondbacks have been one of the surprising teams in baseball, and they've really they've used those new rules to advantage. The small ball, the stolen bases. Arizona's been a fun team to watch so far. Yeah, I think the way Arizona's playing, I think they take 2 out of 3 from Boston. Boston's been so up and down. I think they could win Friday night, but yeah, I think they drop probably Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's going to wrap it up on Sports Talk with R&J. For Justin D'Onofrio, I'm Steve Risser. We will be back next week previewing the NBA Finals, talking about the Yankees and Red Sox, and giving you any NFL news that comes our way. Have a great Memorial Day weekend, everyone.
Jones on first down, wide open, it's Barkley. And Saquon Barkley will take it into the end zone.
Your best ability is his availability. Saquon Barkley, he's great when he's on the field, but the problem is since 2018, he hasn't been healthy for this team.
Look at this. They lob it to him. He taps it in off the glass. How about that?
Porter Moser, I think right now is the best coach of college basketball, hands down.
Fins 2 for 3. He's done his part. Pitch is drilled to deep right field toward the pole, and it is gone.
They don't mind not being what they were in the 90s as the best organization in baseball, because the Yankees aren't even close to the best organization in baseball.
You're trying to be the Rays, and the Rays do this for a reason. Like, you're the Yankees.
Hello, my name is Joe Aguirre. I'm the president of Clovercrest Media Group. And here at CMG, we have a wide variety of podcasts, including sports shows like Keys to the City, The Roll Call, Throwing Jabs, All 4 Downs, and Jawing About the G-Men. And great true crime shows like Sticky Meat, Crimes and Consequences, Ivy League Murders, and Bird, the unsolved murder of David Eichmann. You can find all these podcasts and so much more by visiting clovercrestmedia.com.